Still have some people joining, so we'll give that a minute and then we're just going to jump right in. How's everybody doing today?
Great, Val.
Good. I see you, Lisa. Okay. So I'm going to jump right in, and as we have people join, we have them join, and I told you today I'm going to be looking to you at parts to share, to to participate, because this is an important topic, right? Today I want to talk about limiting beliefs and how they impact you. How are they impacting you? How are they preventing you from achieving your full potential, right? Let's see, I'm going to share my screen. First off, I mean, some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Valerie King. I'm a real estate consultant, first and foremost, at Keller Williams Realty. I run a team, the Valerie King team, been for over 13 years. I'm also a coach and mentor and trainer, particularly of other real estate agents and entrepreneurs. And community engagement, involvement is a high priority for me. So I'm involved with my local community in different ways. I'm on the board for Minority Business Association. I'm on the board for the Houstonic Community College Foundation, and I serve as a volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. I say all that to say, this is important to me because I care about being able to create community and growing together as a community, right? I want to see you guys win just as much as I want to grow myself, right? And so these conversations are important to me. Being able to have these with you, being able to share with you is important to myself. And that's why Leticia and I decided to start with this with David. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll start with a quote, okay? All right, so I don't know if you've ever heard this quote by Marianne Williamson, but usually it's just the first line or two. But I want to read this whole quote to you because of the impact that it's had for me when I first read it all the way through, right? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So by you reaching your highest potential, by you shining, you give other people permission to do the same. So by allowing your limiting beliefs to hold you back, who else are you limiting from them reaching their full potential? Your children? Your family? This is why this is important. This isn't just about you. This isn't just about me, right? This is about the people around us as well and how our beliefs impact them. Okay. So why start with the topic of limiting beliefs? Well, beliefs, what you believe impacts everything, right? So your beliefs impact your thoughts, right? What you think. Your thoughts impact your feelings. How you feel about something impacts your actions and what you do, right? Those actions impact your results. The results you get in turn impact your beliefs again, right? They either reinforce them or they change them. And so when we start with limiting beliefs, like I'm not good enough, what are the thoughts that are resultant from that, right? And then the feelings that manifest from the thoughts that you're having. How do those feelings impact the actual actions that you take? If you don't believe you're good enough, then why bother? Why try so hard, right? And those actions impact the results, which then reinforce the beliefs, right? Because if you're not going to try, you're not going to get the result anyways. Okay. So let's talk about what a limiting belief is. Okay. A limiting belief is a subjective statement about the truth. A limiting belief is a state of mind, conviction, or belief that you think to be true that limits you in some way. Let's talk about some limiting beliefs. And I'd like for you guys at this point to kind of share with me, what are some limiting beliefs that you believe that you have? These are different ones that many have, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not enough. I'm afraid of failing. I don't deserve it. I don't have what it takes. I am this way because maybe people will judge me. I'm just average. Failure is in my family's DNA. It's just what we do. When it rains, it pours. How about this? All the good ones are taken. So limiting beliefs are we're not just talking about business, guys. We're talking about personal life, right? Your view on relationships, your view on family, your view on all the things that you can or cannot achieve. What are some limiting beliefs? Feel
Good
free to
morning.
share.
Good morning. Good morning. I had to hurry
morning.
and jump on. I want y'all to know I haven't had my coffee yet, so my voice is raspy. But I just want to say, I think that I may have limiting beliefs that are subjective, that I'm unaware of. So that I think that they're not as clear cut, and I think that they can hold me back, and I have to realize and understand, because I've been watching TV, I've been listening to the radios, I'm in this space and I'm this. And so what I'm trying to do is just always be conscious to operate and know that those things are working against or whatever I'm doing. And I look at those as an analogy to limiting beliefs as well. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Because and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, how awareness is important towards facing your limiting beliefs and overcoming them. Absolutely. And you do that by having these type of conversations and being in these spaces that shed more light on the thoughts that are limiting your actions, and where you going to allow yourself to go, right, and grow. Go ahead, Travis.
So one of the things I find interesting about limiting beliefs is that they're highly contextualized, right? So you can have a limiting belief, overcome it in one space in life, and have it show up as you continue to progress. So for me personally, I am not enough. So at one phase of life, it was I'm not enough. And when I proved I was, and yet grew into a bigger world, then it became I'm not enough for this space. So that's an interesting thing when it comes to limiting beliefs, that they may follow you even as you conquer them, as you continue to grow in your arena.
I'll add to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of seen that it's usually about, for me, I've never seen it before, right? So when you're kind of navigating new spaces, bigger spaces, and we just don't have legacy in those spaces, you don't have a clear roadmap. There's no linear follow A, B, C, D all the way to Z, and you're going to get there. So just not thinking that you've never seen it, so you're not sure if you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that just ties into a whole lot of those fears and overcoming them and having that mindset that we're covering right now, to be able to kind of cross that gap. And I think we're all in those different spaces. We all have different types of things we may be coming at, but hopefully, we can all keep collaborating with one another and sharing these ideas and where we've been, what we've done, and really show that we can conquer these spaces and demystify those spaces for one another. So that's what I.
Because when you take the right actions and you get different results, does it not impact your beliefs? Right?
Absolutely.
So, believing that you don't have the resources or I'm a victim of my circumstances, right? Those are all limiting beliefs. Well, I grew up here and this is what I had around me and what I was exposed to. And so I can't do this or I don't understand that, right? So what limiting beliefs do you have, right? As you start planning and as you're looking at your goals, right? What are some of those emotions and those thoughts that you have as far as limiting beliefs that may prevent you from actually taking the actions that you need to take? Right? That's what, go ahead, Lisa.
I was going to say, for me, I wrote in the chat is I don't like to read, and I don't read books. And so there's, person around that says, you read, and I think pushing myself out of that comfort zone, especially for this particular thing that we're doing, is getting the book and getting the audio book. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I got to do this. And, I know that it's a growth mindset. And so for me, that is very limiting because I know there's a lot of rich information out there. It's, my willingness to change the way I do things to access what can be very important changes.
I love that. Thank you, Lisa, because you talk about saying, I don't like to read. So now a limiting belief has now become an identifier, a personal identifier, right? So now you don't even realize it's a belief because now you've adapted that as a personality trait, right? And so we have to be very mindful and very careful of the things that we're telling ourselves and how we are describing ourselves and what we're allowing ourselves to believe about ourselves, right? Okay. We're gonna move on from here. So where do these beliefs come from? Right? I mean, we get them from somewhere. And obviously, one of the first places we get them from is from our upbringing, from childhood. Okay. Most research says that most of our beliefs are at least partially formed by age 6. The experiences and the things that we're seeing from family, from outside influences, we formed most of our beliefs by the time we're 6 years old. And those beliefs from when we're 6 years old are still impacting us today. Right? Coupled with the fact that by age 17, it's on average, we hear 150,000 no's. No, you can't. You can't do this. To 5,000 yeses. Yes, you can. We're conditioned to hear and accept no's from childhood, right up until adulthood, right? So our environment and our surroundings obviously have an impact, right? Your environment is a reflection of the status that you're living in. Society stereotypes. Are you in a lower class? Are you from the wrong side of town? You know, I'm from Bridgeport. Bridgeport, Connecticut does not have the best connotation. So when I go into a town like Westport, right, what limiting beliefs am I carrying with me when I try to take that $1 million listing, right? Race has an impact, what you believe about yourself, sex, right? All these societal stereotypes that we carry and or believe that impact our actions and our thoughts. Other people's opinions, perceived judgment. They're not gonna like me. They're gonna judge me. They're gonna think I'm a fraud, right? Imposter syndrome. Comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? Because typically you're comparing other people's outsides, right? What they perceive, what they portray on the outside to your insides. You don't know what they got going on, right? And yet you to form your own opinions about what they did to get to where they are now, right? And decide that you're not good enough because you're not where they are. Why do we keep comparing ourselves? Low self-esteem. How can we reach our full potential if we don't believe in ourselves to do so? Right? We're led by fear and by self-doubt.
What about when you just ask yourself the why? Why me? Like, you're not doubting. I don't think I'm doubting myself, but I'm like, I keep asking myself, why me? Like, I didn't ask for this, but I'm doing it. I love it. I don't know. That's my mind struggle.
Why not you? Why not you? The fact that you were put in a position that you were says that you're meant to be there. Why not you? Remember, you allowing yourself to shine gives permission for other people to do so. Somebody got to start. So why not you? Go ahead, Travis.
Thank you, Valerie. I also wanted to make a comment on what you just said. By allowing yourself to shine, you give other people permission to shine. I absolutely love that quote. And one thing that people don't realize is that our unconscious mind takes everything personal. Again, our unconscious mind takes everything personal. So when we see someone else succeed and we look at it in a positive light, the unconscious mind says, wow, this is something that's important. Look what they did, and it makes it you. So that's why we don't necessarily have to achieve or do it all. Simply by being in an environment where we see other people do it, it actually raises our lid as well. So when you hear people talk about people grow into the conversations you create around them, that's literally what it means. As we're in these conversations and as we're seeing success, or we're seeing people overcome these limiting beliefs, the unconscious mind says to us, if they did it, I can do it, right? And yet, if we see the inverse, if we focus on what's not, if we focus on this person doesn't deserve, or why do they have this and I don't have it, the unconscious mind takes it personal and it sees it as a negative. So it makes it more likely that it's attracted into your experience. So that's why it's critical that we're inside of masterminds, that we're inside of groups where even if it's not our success, we celebrate the success of others, and the unconscious mind takes that in and says, wow, that's my success, because that's the way our brain functions.
Appreciate that. That was great, Travis. And feel free to share at any point, Travis.
That was gonna add, sometimes I think that we taking like a step back is just almost being conscious of the internal conversation that we have, right? Because there's all of this the list of everything that you showed here. But I think just being conscious of reframing and having scripts for yourself to like pivot your thought process, right? Because it's easy immediately to catch yourself thinking and going down the internal conversations that we all do, right? We do it whether it's to refocus ourselves. Oh, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing that. Like we all do it, and it's a constant thing. And just being conscious of what we have at the forefront of that. I think that's really critical when because all of these will come up, and because it just tries to, right? Like I was listening to Brene Brown, and she calls them gremlins, right? Our brain gremlins try to come at us and be like, you can't do that. You're not worthy. It's never been done. You've never done it before. And it just tries to literally squander every idea or goal that you may have, and just being able to be conscious of that and shut that dialogue down and have something to replace it with right away, and just kind of keep it moving.
Well, when it comes to what you think, right, the Bible says, and forgive me, right? I know not everybody is faith-based. Yeah, I am. And so whatever your faith is, just know that this is where this is coming from for me. But scripture says, Proverbs 23, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? So what you believe about yourself, you manifest. Zig Ziglar said, it's impossible to consistently behave in a manner inconsistent with how we see ourselves. We can do very few things in a positive way if we feel negative about ourselves. So if you're not believing in yourself, if you don't believe that you can, right, what results are you going to be able to obtain?
Can I add something to that?
Yes, please.
So, kind of, I'm 34 and I've worked different places, and like where I'm at now has been a culmination of just everything that I've picked up, learned, people that I've surrounded myself with, people that I'm meeting, and now more than anything, businesses that are impacting other people that I'm meeting, and because of that, I've learned that, for me, I'm on this path of I'll figure it out. And that's where my business kind of falls in, is when folks need something, I'll figure it out. And so it takes away any fear, and that fear of failure, I learned years ago, is an irrational fear. Fear of failure is irrational because it hasn't happened yet. You're putting yourself in a corner where you foresee that something bad is going to happen, but it hasn't happened.
Mhm.
And you're setting yourself up so that, you take away from your own opportunities and ability to be able to help people and those around you. But yeah, to kind of go off of that, that whole, for me, what works is I'll figure it out. It puts me in a place where I keep myself open. I'm going to connect with people and network. I'm also going to learn new things. I'm going to just broaden anything that's in front of me coming at me. And, it's, the anxiety can be there and all that, but that's natural. How you work around it and figure things out that's my favorite part, honestly, it's my phone falling, I'll figure it out. I just, something about that, I can't explain it, but I'll figure it out. I just love living in that lane.
That allows you to open yourself up to possibilities.
Yep.
Right. And I mentioned that here. So let's move on. So, right. So talking about how do we overcome? We've talked a little bit about some of this kind of spread out through our little conversation, right? One is awareness. Start identifying what the problem is. As you start looking at what your limiting beliefs are, maybe look at what the root cause is so that we can acknowledge that, right? And release that. Self-awareness is a key predictor in success in life and in business, right? Being more self-aware allows you to take action and make different choices, right? Asking yourself, is this belief serving me or is it harming me? Right? Even the question, Anna, you talked about, why me? Does it serve you to consistently second guess and ask yourself, why me? Rather than say, why not? Why not me? I'm here. I'm here. And I know, Anna, I know you do, right? You step up, you do it often. And so why not you?
I do it. I just don't know how I do it and keep walking. That's why I'm traveling today, because I've been running for 2.5 years nonstop. And I'm like, hold up, it's my time to like slow down a little bit and embrace what I'm doing right and see what I can do better, because we could learn every day, you know, something new. So I know I'm doing it, and it's because God is telling me to do it, not because I prayed and I said, oh, I want to do this. So
Yep.
that's just been my thing. But I'll be all right. God got me.
Yeah. Yes, he does. So setting your intention, what do you want to do? Right? Create a vision and be specific. Develop unshakable self-confidence. And that happens with practice, right? That's not going to be something that happens overnight. Jose talked about, I'll figure it out. That's confidence. To know I'm going to go into the unknown and I'm going to figure it out somehow. I'm going to come up back on the other side and I'm going to be all right. Right? That takes confidence. Taking back your power. Not blaming the outside world for your results or lack thereof. Right? I'm going to figure it out. That puts you in control. Talking to someone about your limiting beliefs, seeking the help you need to change your world or self-view. Sometimes we can't do it alone. That's why we have these masterminds, right? Allowing you to share, allowing you to talk, self-discover. And if you need more, talk, see a therapist, see a coach, see a mentor, right? Someone that can help you talk through and work through these limiting beliefs that you have.
Val, I wanted to see if I could call upon phone a friend down there, cousin actually, Josette Rosado, and see if you wanted to share a little bit. So just from a clinical perspective, because that's what she does. So Josette, do you think you could share something on that? I'm just dying to see what your perspective is on all this.
Put you on the spot, Josette.
Did. She doesn't listen. And next one is, who else? Edwin. Edwin, you're very quiet back there.
I'm learning and I'm listening and I'm working at the same time.
Okay.
Tell me what you want me to chime in on, because I'm listening to what Valerie is saying and I'm understanding and appreciating it. Tell me what you think I need to share.
Just want to hear what you think about the overcoming these kinds of obstacles.
Look, I mean, I think everything Valerie said is valid so far. And the reality is, for me, we're all afraid. We all have limiting beliefs, and we just have to acknowledge them first, right? And use that for fuel. We got to use our pain, our limiting beliefs, our fear, all of that for fuel to do exactly what we want. Because once we acknowledge those things, then we know what the problem is. And then we got to get ready and go to battle. That's it. Fight it. We don't have to be victims. We could just go forward and say, hey, look, you know what? I'm scared of this. You said something to me when we started talking about this. I'm going to share this and I'm going to embarrass you in front of everybody. But you said, you know what? I'm going to do this. You said, I put this thing together and this scares me shitless, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I've never done this before, right? That's where you went with it. I never done this before. I never done this. I never, I'm scared this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that's how we have to approach our limiting beliefs. You know, I was afraid to go to law school, especially when I went on my first visit and I saw all those people with all those books and all those highlighters and pens out. And I said, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision here? And then I had to make a decision. I'm either going to walk out of here like a scared dog with my tail between my legs, or I'm going to recognize that if it's been done before, it could be done again, and why not me? And that's kind of what Valerie talked about earlier. Why not me, when she was talking to Anna? And that's how we have to approach our limiting beliefs. Use those as fuel. Say, hey, this is where I'm going to make a change in my life. This is where I'm going to make an impact in my life now, today.
Thank you, Edwin. I appreciate you sharing. So I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. So we talked about allowing for possibilities already. Jose, you talked about just being able to move forward anyways, right? And so changing your attitude that allows for possibilities for things to happen, right? Why not me, right? You change the way you look at things, and things you look at change, right? So when you change the way that you look at your circumstances and what you have access to, they look different. They start looking different. They start looking like strength instead of weaknesses, right?
Valerie, if I have a second, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I got kicked out, and I want to make sure I respect the fact that my cousin Leticia was like, hey, say something. And one of the things I want to say is that our mental wellness depends on our mental strength. And so I think part of the fantastic benefits of meeting with one another is going to be able to share strengths for those who need the strength, and ideas for those who don't have them. And I'm thinking, you know, I look at somebody like Leticia, I look at all the people in this room, I'm seeing like-minded people who are just here for the determination of being that much better, showing up. That's where it starts. So I just wanted to make sure I said that today.
Well, I appreciate you chose that. So when we talk about limiting beliefs, we don't want to sit in it, right? And so I want to end with some positive talk, some examples of positive talk, and we will revisit a little bit more next week when I am host again, right? As far as more things that we can do to feed ourselves and to feed that mindset and the positive talk that we can give ourselves. But here's some, right, that allow us to feed the lion within us and allow us to be able to kind of take control of the day and control of our thoughts, right? I got this. I can learn anything. Back to Jose, right? So that I want to stop there. And any final thoughts, any final shares, how you feel about our conversation today and all that.
I have a thought. Kind of, I feel like something that works into all this is that connection to people that you don't know. And I see a lot of folks in here that I've never met before, folks that I've seen their names around. Valerie, you're one of them. I do work for Lewis, and I've done the booklets for the gala. So the KW gala. So actually being in this meeting with you and with all these other folks, it's like the 8 degrees of separation, right? As you put yourself in these situations, and I think it was Leticia, I don't know if she coordinated all this, but the whole networking aspect of it, and I'm gonna give it a go, and taking that action and talking to people and connecting, it's always great. And I think that's what helps too with the I'm gonna figure it out, is that I'm surrounded by, and we're all surrounded by, people that are just as eager to help as they are to see other people succeed. I mean, it's awesome. That there's that old saying, like, when you succeed, I succeed. And there's so much truth behind it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing today, Jose. And thank you for letting me know where you're from. And so going forward, I want to make it a point, anybody who shares, please just introduce yourself briefly so that we get to know who you are and where you're from, and we really be able to create that connection, I think it'll be more impactful as we move forward and build these relationships together. I saw quick hands.
It was me, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
And, hello, guys. I am Denise Stokes with KW Preferred Properties in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And I love when you put those affirming sort of affirmations at the end, because more than a conqueror, I use that as passwords. You know how people, I don't be going trying to figure out 25 different passwords. More than a conqueror is one of mine, and blessed every day is another one. So I love seeing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Travis, you had your hand up.
Yeah, so just wanted to say thank you, Valerie. Like, this, to me, it's appropriate. No matter where you are and no matter what you've accomplished, if you're human and you have the same faculty we all have, that is our brain, there's always going to be some limit that we're imposing on ourselves, some belief that we hold to be true that's keeping us from really getting to the next level. And so just to sort of piggyback off of what you're doing, I'm excited for our talks, because there is something called Cartesian coordinates that I'm going to be discussing. And Cartesian coordinates is literally how we learn. So as a kid, is how we learned what a table was, or what a chair was. And when you understand how the brain learns, we can understand how to unlearn, especially when it comes to limiting beliefs and things that aren't true anyway. So I love the fact that you've set a solid foundation. And it seems like in this space, we're all committed to being our best version. And it starts with overcoming who we've been in the past and who we believe ourselves to be if it's not supporting us. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Travis. I really appreciate that, and I hope that this conversation and this topic is getting you in the right frame of mind as we move forward with our other awesome conversations. I don't know if John is still here. No. So you'll be meeting and hearing from Jonna Radman tomorrow. She's an awesome spirit, and I'm excited to hear from her. Oh, she's here. Jonna, do you want to just briefly tell people what we're in for tomorrow morning?
We are going to, piggyback off of today, and we're going to further discuss how to combat negative self-talk. It's going to be an exciting time, and I can't wait to speak to everyone in the morning.
I'm looking forward to it, Jonna. Okay. All right, everybody. I hope you have a day, and I hope this has given you some things to think about, and that you start unlimiting your beliefs and your actions. All right. See you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.
Thank you.
Carol.